All right guys, new install today. Here's what we're doing. We're installing some new type of functional buttons inside of my Tesla Model 3. And we've done stuff like this in the past with the different brands, but today we're looking at a set sent out to me by Tyler. And these are a little bit different because what we actually have here is we have the buttons themselves, which we'll take a look at in a minute. They're very unique and customized compared to what we're used to seeing, as well as we got this charging phone mount that we're going to install above my yoke steering wheel. And the buttons are all controlled by an app on your phone where you can assign different types of functionality. Things like open up your glove box, open up any of your other doors. So if a person's trying to get in your car, you can press the button, it opens the door for them. And while your phone is mounted on the charging mount here, it also acts as a display that talks to the commander unit that comes with the buttons. So let's take a look at what's in the box. So here it is, and check these out. Aren't these buttons cool? They're mini little Cybertruck type buttons on them. So you press right here, little light lights up. You can tell it was selected, and we're gonna assign custom functions to those once they're installed. And then what you have here is a little commander unit, which we're gonna install in the center console in the rear seat there. Really easy install. And this right here is the wiring harness. So it's just a relay. So we're basically gonna unplug the current one in there, plug this in, and then this little piece right here plugs into the commander, put the cover back on, and we're good to go. Just sync up the app and everything's done. So I'm pretty excited about all this because this kind of stuff is becoming huge inside of the Tesla accessory space right now. You've got all kinds of different dashes and button clusters and stuff coming out, and knobs, trying to make it a little bit more efficient as people are realizing they want a little bit more buttons and a little more easier functionality inside of their cars versus everything coming off of that center screen. So let's get this prep for install. Now I should also mention as well that these little Cybertruck buttons have a little battery in them that can be replaced. And you can see right there on the very back side, if I can get it to focus, there we go, that there's a little slot right there. So we just pop this off with a little screwdriver, a little twist. We can then see the makeup of these buttons, which on the bottom you have a 3M tape piece that's going to go on the bottom there, part that holds the battery. On the top right here, you just had the top piece. The middle button actually kind of comes out, and so it can actually move so when you're actually pressing the button. And then in the middle, you have the small transmitter, which holds the battery. And the battery is a CR2032. So a very common battery that you can pick up in pretty much any store. It may be a little bit thinner plastic than some of the other ones, but it's also at less of a cost. So if these really work, this could be a really good option for a pretty good price. Which, by the way, is $215. That includes the phone mount and the button kit, which you can buy them separately, and that's before my discount. So in the beginning here, we're gonna be doing all of our work right here at the back of the center console. So the first thing we wanna do is get these seats as far forward as we can, giving ourselves the most amount of space. All right, now the next thing we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna remove this panel because underneath here is our access to where we're gonna plug in the commander for these new units. This is a cord from my old one. We're gonna remove this one and I'll show you how to do that. So you may have to pull your floor mats out of the way if they happen to be in the way, but this is very easily removed. You can actually just grab on the sides and pull, and then it, just sort of comes off. It really depends how many times you've taken this off. I've installed so many things connected right here to this relay location that mine's pretty easy to pull off at this point. But you can see that the old version I had on here has a lot more material than the new one we're gonna be putting on. So I'm gonna get this relay off and then we're gonna put that new one on. And you really can't screw this up. So we're just gonna take and unplug each side of this, if I can. Get that one off first. So when you open up your car, it's gonna look something like this. And by the way, we're installing this in a 2019 Model 3, so yours might look a slight bit different here. There is different sets for the different year makes and models, so make sure you're choosing the correct one. So now this commander unit and everything is actually made and designed by Testars Incorporated. And I've done work with their stuff before and people really liked it. It was a really good quality brand, very reliable. And so this is the whole unit we're gonna be installing here. So just the same as before, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna unplug this one unit here. This is gonna give us access to all the data from the computer systems. We're gonna plug in the relay unit, plug in the other side, and it gets a little bit tight with this. All we have left is just the one piece here that we're gonna actually connect to the commander unit, and then just like that, this whole install is done. That's it. There's nothing more to it. On the very back here, You can't really see it in the video, but there's a little tiny light that lets you know there's power to it, and you're pretty much good to go. So just tuck this back in here. And what I do like about this unit versus what I had in there is that this is going to be all nice and tucked away. It's not going to be, you know, kind of sticking out like the other one was. And I can even maybe, yeah, see, I can even tuck that down inside over here. So now that's in and out of the way there. So next, we just put the cover back on, preferably the correct way. Oh, I did have it the right way the first time. There you go. So it fits in there perfectly, and take a look at this. You can see that this one, there's no gaps around it. It fits in there the whole way around that panel. So this one does fit really nice. I do like that. And not only that, because you don't have that extra cord there, you don't got anything here the kids are stepping on, you worry about breaking it or anything like that. So that's fully installed. So now the next thing to do is to get the buttons and get the app and basically decide what kind of functionality we want and start testing them out. By the way, sorry about my weird voice. It sounds ridiculous. I've had this cold. I pretty much had no voice yesterday. I was kind of a little nervous about doing this install, but I think you guys can forgive me this once. All right, now let's take a look at the app itself. So the app is called Test Stars. We're gonna open that up, and instantly here, Bluetooth connection successful. So no issues connecting it. When you open it up, this is what the initial dashboard looks like. You can lock your car, you can honk the horn, you can open the front, open the trunk, and you have more options. Now, there's a few updates that are still needed on the app. If you hit more, for example, this is still written in Chinese up here. Even on the English version of the app, you can kind of get a sense for what they are because of the pictures if you wanted to assign them or, you know, access them. But the fact is, it is still written in Chinese, so this does do over-the-air updates, so this will get updates and changes to it as it continues to go on. Also, this is not a paid subscription, so once you have it, which is obviously huge. So what you get here is a couple things. So let's start with the top here. So the first one is the dashboard. So this is where we're going to use the magnetic charging phone mount to mount our phone up there while we're driving to test this out. So you have the vertical mode right here where you have some buttons which we will assign later. So then from there, if you turn your phone horizontally, it goes into the actual dashboard menu. And you can customize a bit of this. Again, there's still lacking some customization. For example, you cannot change it from the temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit. The miles per hour, you can change it right now on the horizontal, but even though it's miles per hour there, if we go to vertical, it stays at kilometers an hour, which here in the United States is a little bit of an issue, but those of you guys who don't use, Canadians and everywhere else that uses kilometers, you're probably not too worried about that. You do get down here the drive gear that you're in, and then you have the clock in the bottom right, but again, that's on 24-hour time, military time, which again, you don't get any options to change. You do get options though. If you tap on it, the little settings button pops down, which you can only access in the horizontal mode. And you click on that and you get some different types of dashboards. You have the standard mode, the Plaid Plus mode, and then the digital mode. So we are in the standard mode right now, and we'll take a look at how these look while we're driving in a minute. You can select your vehicle, so it's not automatically reading which vehicle you have. It does and it doesn't. This does give you the option to change it. I'm in my Model 3, so the Model 3 is right there, but I don't believe I get to change the color or anything like that. It's just a matter of picking the exact car, and even Santa and the Cybertruck are on there. But then when you go into general settings, here's where you have a bunch of things that I don't really know what they were, but they do give you little exclamation marks where you can read up on them to figure out what they are, such as the gentleman button. If you press that, it says when the vehicle speed is 0 and enters auto hold mode, the 4 gentleman buttons will appear. You can be very gentleman to help open the doors for the passengers or rear passengers seats. So that's really cool. So basically when your car is in hold or stop, you'll have buttons that will pop up on the screen and you can have the doors automatically open. And this is just on the phone itself, on the dashboard, without having to actually assign a button to it. So you just turn that on, and we'll check some of this stuff out. But you get rear view, mirror button, you get the glove button, standard sport mode, all kind of like a trigger or toggle. You get the race mode button, quick dashboard button. Again, we can read through some of those later if you guys want. I can put maybe some information in the comments about it or description. But the only thing you can really change here is the use of miles per hour versus kilometers. You can't change a whole lot in here yet, but they are working on the app and they could potentially send that update any day now, giving us a little bit more customization. So whether you decide to use this as a dashboard or not, the main function of this whole setup is that you're going to get the buttons. And so the next one down here is the Tesla buttons. And so we've got 5 different ones set here. And so let's give this a shot here. So let's assign this first little Cybertruck button. I'm going to tap the plus. And unfortunately, again, it is written in Chinese. So I don't exactly know what all of this says. So I'm going to take a snapshot of that. And then I'm going to go to Google Translate, upload it, and from Chinese to English, and it says select the button. Okay, kind of figured that's what it meant, but just wanted to verify it. So I don't know exactly what the S stands for. I am happy with how fast the connection happens. Okay, and just a quick look at the buttons, and you can see that each button has a symbol on it. That's how it's going to be identified, obviously. So this is S, so we're going to do S first. Hit confirm. It says please click the button. Click the button. There we go, and now we are in the settings. Once again, the very top is written in Chinese. So one thing I do like about this app so far is it does give you the option to try and before you actually assign it, which is pretty cool. So we'll go through these once and then we'll just kind of go through and assign them real quick and then try them out. So you got the glove box, you got the driver door, the co-pilot door, the left rear door, so you get all the door controls. You get the front, you get the trunk. You can go on and off of sport mode or standard mode. You can go into race mode. You can go to plaid mode, you can unlock the vehicle, which this one's been kind of fun. One thing I've done with this one is inside of my garage on the previous company's versions of these, I stuck that on my actual charger in my garage. So when I walk up to my charger in the morning, I just press that button and it unlocks my car. You can unlock the charge port, which is another good one to put outside of your car and kind of nice. You can control the ceiling light, which is great. You can control the gear that your car is in. You got the rear view mirror and you got preheating. So that's all the open ones. So actually right now that is all the functionality. So it definitely doesn't have as many as some of the other options that you pay a little bit more for. But again, over-the-air updates are coming out on this new set, so we can expect to see a lot more new options as they continue to work and develop this app. So for now, we're gonna assign this to the glove box. We'll hit save. I'm assuming that hit save, and then they do show you a picture of it right there, but again, more Chinese on this. This is the English version, and so hopefully they'll remove all that. So I'll just do one more with you guys because it's pretty self-explanatory how to do this. Confirm, click the button, instantly gets assigned. And then I'm gonna say on here, how about the co-pilot door, and we'll hit save. That way, if my wife wants to get in the car, she's walking up to it, I could just press the button, it's gonna open up for her. Another functionality that I do like about it is you can see I only have 3 options left here, which is really great because then you don't automatically or accidentally reassign it to some other button you already assigned to. So they eliminate the ones that already have something assigned to it. So this is the R, I'll get this done, and I'll show you guys what I chose at the end. So this is what I went with. I put the glove box, I put the lock or unlock the car. I got the passenger front door. So again, if someone wants to come in, I can just open it for them. I got the rear trunk, and then I got the charge port because I think that's a really helpful one to use outside of my car, believe it or not. I really like that when I've used that for years in that spot. It just makes a huge difference. So let's get them installed. So actually, probably the biggest trick to these things is that you got to remember what you assign to what button. And I suppose after using them for a while, you remember. But for example, I assigned this one A to popping open this door. So if I press this, this door should open. Ready? Here we go. Hey, look at that. That is awesome. And to be honest, this is another one that has become one of my ultimate favorites. I use literally almost every time I drive because we keep stuff in our glove box, and that is the glove box button. So we're gonna go ahead and press that. Awesome. But here is something to be aware of though that I'm not sure how I feel about it. In fact, I don't feel good about it, but I don't think you can really do anything to change it. And that is that I have my glove box set up so that I have a passcode to open it. So right now, if I clicked on the glove box button, a code pops up here that I have to type in to actually open up my glove box. But with the code not in, this will bypass it going straight to the commander back there. So obviously a robber or whatever would have to know that this was assigned to that. And for me, it's worth it because it's just so convenient rather than having to go into the menu and find that stupid glove box button. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put it just right here on the side of the glove box, kind of right where the handle would be to actually access the glove box. Little 3M tape, and stick it right on there. And the neat thing about 3M tape is you can take it off and you can just get a little bit wet, clean it a little bit, and you can actually move it around if you need to. So just because you're putting it on here doesn't mean it's permanent. Like I said, I've had another brand on here for over a year. I took it off, there's no evidence of it on there. And now here we go. I want to get into it, just press it. Glove box opens. Close it, and it's instantaneous. I mean, it's quick, it's awesome. All right, so here's how I managed to put these across and install them here. Okay, I'm putting them all right across the front here where they're easily accessible. And so what I've got them is left to right. Here's the order of these right now, and I'll get them memorized eventually. So A, I have assigned to the front door. So someone's walking up to get in my passenger seat. Maybe they want to mess with the door. Maybe it's cold out and they can't get in the door, whatever. I can just press this, door unlocks for them, they can get right in. Next is R, which is the rear trunk. So you're sitting in the car, wife comes with all their groceries while because hey, you've been sitting in the car just flipping through reels, of course, right? Maybe watching a little CfTesla. You do the gentleman thing, stay in your seat, press the button, and open up the trunk for them. They finish putting it in, you press it again, it shuts. My 2019 Model 3 has the power trunk lift because I installed it, but I know maybe that's not that big a deal for someone who doesn't have that. But of course, newer models will enjoy that. Next, I have T, which is going to be lock. So kids getting in the car, lock it when they get in. If they need to get out, lock it for them to get out. I might change that, might leave it the same for now. And then the very last one is the charging port. Now, my wife parks in the garage, so for her, I have it assigned for the button outside of the car on her model, but for me, mine's outside, so I'll leave it on that for now, but of course, I reserve the right to change that. And I also screwed up with putting these on, and my spacing isn't right, so I want to show you guys you can take these off and move them around if you need to. It comes with a plastic pry tool, which is used to take off that plastic piece in the back, but it also doubles as a way to pry it off of your car. And even if you do ruin the 3M tape, it's no big deal because they do give you another set of the tape that you can replace them with if you ever need to do that. So now these are all set, all good to go. I got my glove box right here. I got all these assigned right there. And now right here at my fingertips, I can control pretty much whatever I want. I am definitely though looking forward to more functionality coming to the car, because one thing I can already tell you I'm going to miss with this set that I had with my others is being able to engage and disengage all the autopilot controls, which this cannot currently do. All right, so the phone mount system we're going to go with here that Tyler sends out when you order this with the set, again, it's not required. You can just do the buttons and be done here at this point. But we're taking it a step forward to take full advantage of the dashboard they give you, plus to get a nice charger. Might as well try it out. This is by Flex Ultra or Ural. Well, I really screwed it up. Flex Ural. So here's what we're working with here. We got this phone mount, and this is designed to work with magnetic phones, okay? But if you don't have a magnetic phone like a MagSafe phone, you do have the option to make yours into a magnetic phone. In this case, they do give you multiple options. So you get two little metal rings you can stick to the back of your phone that will allow you to magnetically connect to this. But of course, for it to actually charge and benefit you that way, which I believe this is a charger, yeah, you're going to have to make sure your phone is capable of wireless charging, which the majority of them are nowadays. So here we have it, and I love this design. It is so slick and customizable. You can move it around, and I like how they got control of the wire. They're actually sending the wire back and around. So what we're going to do here is this is USB-C, and so this is going to allow us to kind of put it in the back here. I'm either going to run it, I'm probably going to run it and plug it into the ones on the back of my center console because it comes down like this, it's not going to be sticking out and getting in the way of anything. Or maybe I'll run it down. I haven't decided yet, but first let's get it installed. So we just got some 3M tape. I think I'm gonna take it and put it about right there. Okay, there we go. So on the back of this, the steering wheel here, it's much flatter. And so putting it on there, well, it allows the whole part to be put down. That must be where they originally had it. And then you can tilt it up a little bit. And I actually like that better because that's not at all in your face. So that's gonna tuck it away more and give it full contact. So, okay. All right, guys, I see what you're doing. It was me, as usual. That's malfunctioning. Perfect. Now I'm going to peel this off right here. Woo! There we go. And all we got to do now is plug it in and try it. So they give you this really nice rubber cord, kind that doesn't wrinkle up. And I think I will try putting it down into my hub because I have a lot of ports down inside my center console. Oh, yeah, I got 4 available. So down inside here, I have the Get Jeda hub. So I have 3 USB-A ports and 2 USB-C ports down inside of here. So I got a different just wired charger here, and then this right here is where I plugged it in. And the wire is thin enough, okay, that's just something else, that I can just have it tucked in here on the side, and I can still close this all the way down, and you can see the wires are still able to kind of tuck along the side there. And when I close the lid here, it is a little bit tight. It is a tiny little bit pinching the wires right here, but it still does go down and close it. I'm just gonna spread these wires out a little bit, and you could obviously pull it down here and just take it out the bottom. Just depends if you close this guy or not, because this will not close if there is a wire there. So if you're going to have it going down into your center hub here, you're gonna have to deal with the fact one of these needs to be open at all times. Otherwise, you can run it back here to the very back and plug it into one of your outlets down there. But in mine, they're not USB-C, so you would have to use an adapter. So now, first, let's just do a battery charging test and see for fitment. So this phone is the iPhone 13 Pro Max, so it's the biggest version, and it has a mag-back phone case, which is one of my favorite phone cases. We're gonna stick that on there, so super strong connection right there. And instantly it's charging because the clock popped up right there. So let's get it on the dashboard here. Ooh, that is very tight. Okay, let's get it on the dashboard and see just how this looks. So we're connecting it here to the app, and the vertical option here, you can assign other buttons to it. So you can come in here and press that and put other functions in that. Like maybe I want to put the rear door on that side, and then the left rear door on this side. So I can then go in and open up, you know, all the doors maybe from the same spot. So right off the bat, I can tell there's no way you're gonna see this as it's dark. So let's take a look at what it looks like when it's like bright. So let's turn on, or white mode. I'm gonna turn on settings. I'm going down here to light. That should make it a lot easier to see. And then for dashboard, let's go the Plaid Plus mode and see what that looks like. Here we go. Going forward, I'm not sure what Plaid Plus means exactly. Certainly doesn't have any difference right now. The car actually turns on the screen when I turn the car. That's kind of funny. So obviously, because of where it's parked, you know, you're gonna have a little bit of restriction when the steering wheel turns. And if you have a circular steering wheel, you can see between the gap in the top. My wife had it again in her car for a while, and so it had it there. I don't know if the Plaid Dash is just not anything different, or you have to go a certain speed, or what the rules are with it. But right now it's pretty cool, just showing my car the speed in miles per hour. So that's, you know, that's handy, and it's obviously exact same as the big screen to the right. And you can actually set a mode where I think when you have this one on, it turns this off or something. I saw it in the settings. Anyway, we can go through and deep dive in that in another video if you guys want. Let's try digital mode. Okay, so that just gives us like a circular speedometer, but again, it puts it back in kilometers. Another one of those glitches that they have to work out in the updates is it's just some of these settings that you change in here just aren't holding consistent throughout the app. It works in one spot and then not in another, so they got to work to that. But again, that's just software, so that stuff's pretty easily updated. So let's go back here to Plaid, see if that's any difference. Okay, well that one actually looks like the other one was supposed to look, it seems like. That's interesting. You can't really see the lines. I bet when it's dark, I bet that looks a lot different. Let's go change that to dark mode and see what that looks like. Yeah, okay. So that's what it's supposed to look like right there. That would just give me a seizure though if you look at that too long. That's like a strobe in your face. Definitely gonna turn that one off. Let's see, vehicle button, we'll go to dash mode and just go back to standard. I think standard's probably the winner of the group here. Let's try a couple things here just to make sure that the functionality of these buttons isn't dangerous. So I'm gonna be driving here and I'm going to tell it to open up. I'm gonna turn down a little side road here so I'm not on the main road, but I'm gonna tell it to, you know, open up the trunk while I'm driving. And let's see if it does it. So just kind of coming down the hill right here, and I'm gonna press my R button for the trunk while I'm driving, and nothing happens. Okay, I'm gonna press A, open up the door, nothing happens. T, it does unlock the car, and T again, it does lock the car, so that is working fine as it should. And then my far right one is the charge port, but that again does nothing. So that's good. So the things that are supposed to not work, let's say opening doors and stuff, don't work when you're moving. You do have to be stopped. So that is a good thing. So the buttons are what we want them to be. They're a function where you can set something to them. Again, it has all the important options right now. Like I said, the only two that I feel like I'm missing that I used to have that I actually use, which, let's be honest, I probably shouldn't be using, which is to satisfy the wheel nag. I don't have that option. And then to turn on autopilot, I still do have to do it with the gear stock over here. It was kind of fun using the button where you could just kind of like press it and it was like you were like engaging spaceship, press the button and then you're, you know, autopilot. But that's fine. That may come in a future update. It certainly has the ability to, but for now, you definitely have everything you need in here at this deal. So I'll put all the information for this down below in the description if you guys want to check these out, as well as my discount. For the first week these are released, you guys, if you're watching this and it just came out, you get 30% off for the first 7 days of me launching this video, and then it goes down to, I think, 20%. So if you're considering something like this, that's a big deal. That means that on a $200 item, you're getting $60-some off of your price, because this is like $214 or whatever I said. So it's actually a pretty sweet deal if this is something that you guys feel you need and will use. So let me know what comment or questions you have down below in the comments, and if you guys need me to make a short on anything, I can do that at another time as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you all on the next one. And there are a lot of next ones coming up. If you guys are new to the channel, there's some pretty cool installs that I'm going to be doing here and reviews within the next month. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you can catch those. And again, I'll see you guys on the next video.